Welcome to the news at 3 on ASO Television. I am Rosemary Kokotega. The headlines. Presidency donates perishable food items to National Mosque Abuja. President Tinubu approves appointment of Ismail Yusuf as new NACOM chairman. FCT Minister Wike expresses satisfaction with Airport Kuje Gwagwalada Road project progress. Nigeria's capital importation hit $21 billion in first 10 months of 2025. President Bola Tinubu has appointed Ambassador Ismail Yusuf as the new chairman and chief executive officer of the National Hajj Commission, NACOM. Special advisor on information and strategy to the president, Bayo Ononuga, disclosed this in a statement, saying the appointment is subject to the Senate's approval in accordance with the provisions of Section 3, Subsection 2 of the NACOM Act 2026. President Tinubu already sent a letter to the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, requesting the expeditious confirmation of Ambassador Yusuf to replace Professor Abdullahi Usman, who resigned this week after about 14 months in the post. Yusuf is a seasoned Nigerian career diplomat who served as the Nigerian ambassador in a variety of fruits. Daniel Obi reports.
The initiative is part of an ongoing renewed hope effort aimed at elevating the economic hardship faced by vulnerable Nigerian families through steady support with food palliatives. Ustaz Abubakar Sadiq Muhammad, chairman of the Palliative Distribution Committee of the Abuja National Mosque, praised the remarkable gesture of the First Lady, stating that no item, including a smile, is spared in the expression of goodwill to one's neighbor.
Of course, it's a long way because every family needs these items. Without mentioning them, all the items are needed in Ramadan for the family at all times, especially now, and especially as Ramadan is approaching. Our gratitude to Our Excellency knows no bounds. Our appreciation and the appreciation of the poor and the recipients is endless. Everything could be distributed as charity. Islam teaches us that even a smile could be charity. So, distribution, everything could be distributed, yes.
Beneficiaries like Abubakar Ibrahim and Aisha Muhammad appreciated the wife of the president, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. They thanked her for her uncommon love and motherly care in this show of affections towards the needy of the society.
First of all, I want to thank the First Lady for this gracious gesture to the National Mosque. I think this distribution of food items go a long way to serve the household. We want to appreciate her a lot, and we look forward to see more of this, inshallah.
Honestly, they're actually going to go a long way because these are items an average family in Nigeria doesn't usually see it all the time. And getting it at now, honestly, it goes a long way for the citizen. To anyone that have received this, I'm sure they are going to sleep happy today at home.
The First Lady has been actively involved in various philanthropic activities, focusing on food security, empowerment, and support for vulnerable groups. The distribution of these food palliatives is expected to bring relief to beneficiaries, particularly as the Muslim Ummah prepare for the coming month of Ramadan. Daniel Obi, ASO Television News.
Senate has expressed fresh concern over the rising wave of terrorist attacks across the country, with Chairman of the Senate Committee on Defense, Senator Ahmed Lawan, describing the security situation as worrisome. Senator Lawan, speaking during the 2026 Budget Defense and 2025 Budget Performance Review of the Ministry of Defense before the committee, said the exercise was taking place at a troubling time for Nigerians amid persistent insecurity across several parts of the country.
Our reality in the last 50 years has been that of battling terrorists and insurgents that have succeeded in carrying out kidnappings, mass abductions of communities and students, massacres, arson, and so on and so forth.
Responding, the Minister of Defense, Major General Christopher Musa, retired, though acknowledged the security challenges assured of ongoing military operations yielding positive results. He maintained that armed forces remained committed to protecting the nation's territorial integrity and restoring peace nationwide. The committee later went into a closed-door session to deliberate on sensitive operational matters, projects, and budgetary figures presented by the ministry. The Public Accounts Committee, PAC, of the House of Representatives has sought for adequate funding for the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation to enable it to discharge its core constitutional responsibilities. This followed presentation by the Auditor General, Mr. Shaka Kanyito Chira, during the 2026 Budget Defense session on Wednesday at the National Assembly. The auditor had, while presenting an overview of the 2025 Budget Defense, complained that poor release of allocated funds affected operations of the office, leading to gaps in accomplishing its statutory mandate and plans for the year. He said the office was able to audit only 5 of Nigeria's foreign missions in 2025 due to lack of funds and owing rents in some locations amidst shortage of personnel. Mr. Chira explained that while 653 million naira was appropriated for the foreign missions audit, 371 million naira was expended, leaving an outstanding balance of 282 million naira, which represents 56% of the total amount released. He further informed that only 4% of the capital allocation to the office was released in 2025, which he said significantly impaired its operational capacity. Chairman of the committee, Mr. Bamidele Salam, and members described the allocation as grossly disproportionate to the constitutional responsibility of the office, which is mandated to audit over 1,000 ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as government-funded institutions. Mr. Bamidele said it is unrealistic to expect the Auditor General's office to effectively scrutinize the proposed expenditure of 58.4 trillion naira with such minimal funding. A breakdown of the 2026 budget estimate of the office shows 5.3 billion naira is earmarked for personnel costs, 5.6 billion naira for overheads, and 4.8 billion naira for capital expenditure. The Nigeria Correctional Service has revealed that awaiting trial inmates constitute 64% of the total custodial population nationwide, lamenting persistent congestion and pressure on correctional facilities across the country. Comptroller General of the service, Sylvester Nwachukwu, made the revelation while presenting the agency's 2025 budget performance and 2026 estimates before the House of Representatives Committee on Reformatory Institutions at the National Assembly. He said as of February 9, 2026, the total inmate population stood at 80,812, out of which 51,955 are awaiting trial inmates, 24,913 are convicted inmates, and 3,850 falls under other detection categories. On 2025 budget performance, the Comptroller General disclosed that the service received a total of 184.63 billion naira as appropriation in 2025, covering personnel, overhead, and capital expenditure. The Comptroller General informed that among the budget components, capital funding recorded the lowest level of implementation, as out of 14.50 billion naira appropriated for capital projects, only 3.22 billion naira, representing 22.2%, was released and utilized, leaving 11.27 billion naira in unreleased funds for projects nationwide. He, however, said despite not being a revenue-generating agency, the service realized 84.65 million naira as internally generated revenue in 2025. On 2026 budget proposal, Mr. Nwachukwu presented a proposed 198.85 billion naira and appealed for additional funding to address critical operational and infrastructure needs. Earlier, Chairman of the House Committee on Reformatory Institutions, Mr. Chinedu Oga, called for urgent reforms in Nigeria's correctional system, including increased funding, improved infrastructure, and presidential assent to the Correctional Service Trust Fund bill. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Ezenwonyi Wike, says he is satisfied with the pace and quality of work on the ongoing Airport Kuje and Kuje-Gwagwalada road projects. Speaking after inspecting the sites, the minister described the road corridor as critical to easing movement across the territory, noting that work on Airport to Kuje stretch has surpassed 70%, while the Kuje to Gwagwalada section is nearing 65% completion. He added that if the current momentum is sustained, the project is expected to be ready for inauguration by June.
Last time I was there, you remember, we stopped about it at the mosque where they were constructing, and we were well impressed with the level of work done. And like the contractors have said, God willing, by first week of June or July, they would have inaugurated this project. It's a very important project, so that you don't need to go to the airport if you are going to go to town. So I think it's very important. We are very, very happy with what we have seen. If you take from the airport to Kuje, it's about 70%, and here I can see it's almost 65%, so I think they will be up.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the National Peace Committee, NPC, have forged a strategic partnership to strengthen election security and promote peaceful conduct ahead of the forthcoming Federal Capital Territory Area Council election. The renewed collaboration was affirmed when members of the National Peace Committee paid visit to the INEC chairman, Professor Joash Amopitan, in Abuja. INEC chairman, Professor Amopitan, described the visit as timely, noting that the commission had in the past week recorded a series of engagements with key stakeholders, including security agencies, political parties, civil society organizations, and the media, as part of final preparations for the FCT election. He emphasized that beyond the immediate election, 2026 remains a critical preparatory period for the 2027 general election, underscoring the importance of proactive collaboration to manage emerging security risks. The INEC chairman commended the National Peace Committee for establishing an election security information hub to complement institutional efforts at conflict prevention and electoral risk mitigation. Professor Amopitan acknowledged concerns raised over alleged threats among political actors, inter- and intra-party tensions, vote trading risks, and the broader security challenges in certain communities. He assured the delegation that the Commission would share relevant insights with security agencies to enable preventive and responsive measures. Earlier, the Executive Director of the Kuka Center and Head of Secretariat of the National Peace Committee, Reverend Father Atta Barkindo, conveyed the goodwill message of the committee's chairman, former head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, retired, and its convener, Bishop Hassan Kuka. He assured the commissioner of the committee's readiness to provide strategic guidance and support, not only for the FCT election, but also for forthcoming governorship elections in Ekiti and Osun states, as well as preparations for the 2027 election. The Social Democratic Party, SDP, in Abuja Municipal Area Council has suffered a major setback following the defection of his council chairman, Honorable Dauda Mohammed, to the All Progressives Congress, the APC. Honorable Mohammed led a large number of his supporters to the APC and formally endorsed the incumbent AMAC chairman, Mr. Christopher Mekalangu, for a second term in office. According to a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the Chairman on Media and Public Affairs, Mr. Kingsley Madaki, the defection took place during Mr. Mekalangu's campaign tour of Jiwa community. Addressing party supporters at the event, Honorable Mohammed said his decision to leave SDP was informed by what he described as the remarkable performance and infrastructure development recorded under the Mekalangu's administration. The colorful event attracted a large crowd of party faithful, community members and traditional dancers, and was also witnessed by the Sarkin Jiwa and other prominent traditional leaders who offered their blessings for the new political alliance. Mr. Mekalangu described the move as a homecoming for those committed to development, assuring them of equal opportunities and inclusion in the party's activities. With the latest development, the APC in Amak appears to have consolidated its structure as former opposition members pledged to work together in support of continuity, transparency, and inclusive growth in the council. Watch ASO Television live on DSTV 392, StarTimes TV 127, Free TV 507 on the UHF band, channel 38. Coming on after the break, Nigeria's capital importation hits $21 billion in first 10 months of 2025 and other stories. Stay with us.
Good evening and welcome to the greatest show on earth.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come.
Let's go! Lights, camera, action. Put your mind to it, live the life that you remember.
Don't spread out the circumstances.
Stay connected. Stay with us, starting from Yanga and Jolly.
The National Convener Integrity Group Nigeria, a Tinubu support group, Ambassador K. Idawene, has declared that there is no vacancy in Aso Rock in 2027 due to the unprecedented development projects being conducted under President Tinubu's administration. Ambassador Idawene made this declaration in an interview with Aso Radio and Television in Abuja. Harris Sidi Siraju reports.
Ambassador Oke Idawene said the Integrity Group justified its support for President Tinubu and Delta State Governor Sharif Oborevori based on the massive and undeniable developmental strides witnessed under both leaders.
Propagating Tinubu's administration, telling them why we should stand for Asuwaju again, why we stand for Sharif again in Delta. We are also trying to downplay the lies against the present government that has come to give us a hope, that is renewed hope for the Nigerian system. And the Integrity Group is also calling on like mind to say, let's join you. So that's what we stand for. We represent good governance. We have people all over the country supporting the group. It is self-sponsored.
Speaking further, he shed light on what the Integrity Group has been doing so far towards achieving its aim of advocating for President Tinubu's re-election.
1 million man march in Delta for the president and our governor. We've done national summit in Abuja last year, August, when the whole country gathered at Musa Yar'Adua Center. And we also done Southwest Summit with over 2,000 delegates in Osun State, and it was wow. We are going state to state propagating why Tinubu should come again, why a particular governor should come again. This is what we are doing. So our achievements are much, and we are still consolidating.
The national convener of the Integrity Group expressed support for the Senate on the issue of transmission of results electronically.
So I think, by and large, the Senate led by the Swiss Senator Godswill Akpabio has done well. Every senator, kudos to you. For those that supported, that did support, kudos to you. We are all Nigerians. Like I said, nothing to drag for. The noise was not required. But thank all those that came out to protest. We appreciate you, are Nigerians. We support you as well. And the bill has been passed. The president will assent to it, and we move.
The Integrity Group, which has a national spread, is at the forefront of good governance advocacy and organizing political support by informing and educating the electorate. For ASO TV News, I am Haris Sidi Siraju.
The Federal Ministry of Works has restated its intention to rehabilitate the Maiduguri-Mogonu Road Section 1 in Borno State as the nationwide media tour of the Northeast Zone continues. Federal Controller of Works in the state, Engineer Salihu Adamu, while addressing the media at the project site in Maiduguri, assured that the project will be completed despite persistent security and logistical constraints. The project, which was initially awarded in 2018 at a contract sum of 21.73 billion naira, traversing 105.6 kilometers, was revised to incorporate a flexible pavement structure with asphaltic concrete shoulders, following a technical review and scope adjustment, bringing the current contract sum to 28.37 billion naira. Engineer Adamu said phase 1 of the project covers 30 kilometers and that significant progress has been recorded, with approximately 5.8 kilometers completed up to Binda coast level and about 8 kilometers of stone base executed. Clearance works, he added, have also extended beyond 15 kilometers, while shoulder construction is ongoing in line with the ministry's revised policy, which replaces surface dressing with asphaltic concrete shoulders to provide stronger structural protection for the carriageway and enhanced pavement durability. The engineer stressed that security remains the major constraint on the Maiduguri-Mongono corridor. Borno State continues to operate under emergency conditions, with base and sub-base laterite sourced from Ngandu near the Yobe State border about 150 kilometers away, and stone materials hauled from as far as Shira town in Bauchi State, approximately 450 kilometers, due to restricted access and security considerations like the ban on the blasting of rocks in the state. In another development, Chairman of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, Borno State Council Abdul Karim Haruna inaugurated the completed limited rehabilitation of Kanga Gubio Road Section 1 and 2 outside Beni Sheikh Town on behalf of the Minister of Works, Engineer David Omai. The Federal Road Safety Corps FRSC has disengaged 43 personnel over offenses including desertion, scandalous behavior, and patrol misconduct. A breakdown of the action shows that 31 officers were dismissed for desertion, 5 for scandalous behavior, and 7 for patrol-related misconduct. Corps Marshal Shehu Mohammed described the move as a reaffirmation of the Corps' zero-tolerance policy on indiscipline and ethical violations. He noted that desertion is a serious breach of duty in a safety-critical organization, while scandalous conduct and patrol misconduct undermine public trust. The FRSC says it will intensify internal monitoring, strengthen supervision, and promote ethical standards across its commands, while urging the public to continue supporting its road safety mandate. The Nigeria Forest Security Service, NFSS, has strongly condemned the recent banditry attack in Woro, Kwara State, describing the incident as a threat to peace, security, and national stability. In a statement signed by the Commander General of the NFSS, Dr. Osatimehi Joshua Wole, the NFSS boss directed all officers across the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, to remain vigilant and proactive as operatives have been instructed to continue supporting the Nigeria Police Force, the Department of State Services, and the Nigerian Army in efforts to tackle insecurity and criminal activities, particularly within forested areas across the country. The statement further appealed to President Bola Tinubu through the Office of the National Security Advisor to consider the integration of over 48,000 trained NFSS personnel who are currently awaiting final directives for formal inclusion into the national security framework. The Ukomo Igala organization has expressed deep sadness over the violent clashes between farmers and herdsmen in Ejule, Ojebede town, Ibaji local government area of Kogi State, which resulted in the loss of lives, missing persons, and the destruction of farmlands and properties. This is contained in a statement signed by the organization's national leader, Major General James Ataguba, retired. The statement, which sympathizes with families affected by the tragic incident, called on the Kogi State government, the Nigeria Police Force, and other relevant security agencies to intervene and act swiftly without delay to prevent further bloodshed and reprisal attacks. The statement further emphasized that Ibaji local government area continues to suffer deep socio-economic challenges worsened by years of neglect, lack of infrastructure, and environmental degradation affecting farmland and fishing livelihoods, as these conditions have fueled repeated communal tensions in the area. The organization urged both the Kogi state and federal governments to investigate the underlying causes of these recurring conflicts and take concrete steps towards achieving lasting peace and development in Ibaji and Kogi state at large. Farmers and herders in 6 rural communities across Bokos and Riom local government areas of Plateau State have signed 25 peace agreements aimed at restoring peace and rebuilding trust after years of deadly conflict. The agreements were reached by men and women drawn from the communities of Shiabum and Sop, where recurrent clashes already claimed many lives and led to the destruction of property. The peace accords followed a series of dialogue and reconciliation engagements facilitated by the Institute for Integrated Transitions as part of efforts to strengthen social cohesion and find lasting solutions to violence in fragile, conflict-affected rural communities. A participant and senior district head from Bokos local government area, Lazarus David, described the peace process as timely and critical given the scale of challenges faced by the communities. According to him, the organizers succeeded in bringing the communities together at a grassroots level through sustained engagement. Another participant, Chiroma Haruna Idris, said the initiative would go a long way in restoring peace and stability between farming and herding communities. Nigeria has recorded a total capital importation of approximately $21 billion in the first 10 months of 2025, representing a 25% increase from the $12 billion recorded in 2024 and a more than 425% rise from under $4 billion in 2023. This was disclosed by the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Mrs. Jumoke Oduwole, during the budget defense of the ministry before the House Committee on Commerce at the National Assembly. The minister said the ministry conducted more than 100 bilateral investment engagements, both domestically and internationally, strengthening ties with new partners such as the UAE, Brazil, and Japan, as well as long-standing strategic partners, including the United States and the United Kingdom. Mrs. Oduwole highlighted that UK investors accounted for approximately 65% of Nigeria's foreign capital inflows in 2025. On trade and exports, the minister informed lawmakers that Nigeria recorded a trade surplus in 2025 with a total trade valued at approximately 113 trillion naira in the first 3 quarters. The House of Representatives Committee on Sports on Wednesday at its budget defense session increased the budget estimate of the National Institute of Sports from 2.8 billion naira to about 60 billion naira. Chairman of the committee, Mr. Kabiru Akmadu, said the committee, working with management of the institute, decided to increase the budget estimate of the agency after due consultation with leadership of the budget office of the Federation. He decried the Institute, describing it as a critical pillar in national sports development, and emphasized the need for increased budgetary allocation to enable it to discharge its responsibilities effectively. The committee's chairman, however, commended the leadership of the Institute for the innovation so far, leading to a turnaround. Presenting his budget estimate, Director General of the Institute, Mr. Philip Shuaibu, appealed for increased funding, informing that a total capital estimate for 2025 was not released. He said 52 years after establishment, the Institute lacks definite plan of action, pointing out that his management has now put in place a 10-year plan that will reposition the Institute. The National Institute of Sports, established in 1974, serves as Nigeria's premier training and research center for sports development, with a mandate to produce qualified coaches, sports administrators, and technical personnel to drive excellence in the sector. That's the bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Rosemary Ukokotega. Join us at 7 p.m. for more news.